Hi guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for tonight's video, we're going to be reading some more spooky stories. I have my Wicked candle in here as per usual, and I love it. It smells like caramel apple, if you guys are new to my channel. Hi. I also have my Starbucks tumbler because I love it. It's bright orange and it fits my spooky mood, and I do have the passion tea lemonade in it right now. I just made it myself, so it's really good. Enough ranting and rambling, let's just jump on into the video. So I have 3 stories that I want to read tonight. So the first one is from the Spoopy Cjades Reddit. So this is a true story. So I've had a couple people comment in my comment section asking me to read more true stories versus just like no sleep stories. So the first one that I'm going to read is from the paranormal section of the Spoopy Cjades Reddit. So if you hear noises, cars, crows, all of that, it's just gonna be there. It's 10 o'clock at night and the cars are still going by. I can't make them stop. Anyway, this one is titled, Something Ripped a Deer to Shreds. Trigger warning, there's mention of blood and a deceased animal. Hello everyone, I literally just remembered this story 5 minutes ago. It's a pretty short one, but it's damn scary. Also, for reference, my name's Jay and I'm in my mid-20s. So this story happened when I was a little kid. I want to say I was around 11 or 12. My family had gone camping. It was something that we did whenever we had a free weekend. My dad would bring our toy hauler, basically a camping trailer, where you could store quads and dirt bikes, and my dad brought both his and my stepmom's quads and my own. We arrived at the location around the middle of the day, set up camp, had dinner, went to bed. The first night went by quite normally. The next day rolled around, and it was sometime in the afternoon when my dad wanted to go for a ride. I asked if I could tag along, and he said sure, and I got on the back of his quad. He wasn't planning on doing any serious off-roading. He just wanted to go on a small hour or 2 trip down the logging road we had used to get to our campsite. I should also mention, it was bright as hell outside, not a cloud in the sky, and since it was the middle of winter, there was snow everywhere, which made it even brighter, and what made the scene even more alarming. Okay, why are you guys camping in the winter? I'm Canadian and I don't even do that. No, absolutely not. We were about half an hour, maybe an hour into our trip when we came across the most gruesome sight I had ever seen. On a small hill, right beside a somewhat busy logging road, was a deer carcass, or more what was left of one. The poor creature was absolutely ripped to shreds. The snow surrounding the body was just covered in blood. It was awful. Now, what makes this incredibly alarming is that there are no large animals in our area. No bears, no cougars, no wolves, no coyotes. It's one of the main reasons why my dad chose this place. Both my younger siblings and I could run around the surrounding area without having to worry about a large predator sulking about. Also, it was a fresh kill, so whatever did this was probably still in the area. Now, my dad is a pretty stoic guy, even when there's a very real threat. He always manages to stay calm, I think mainly to keep us calm. But in this moment, I could tell he was freaked the hell out. We sat there in shock for a few minutes before he turned us right around and hauled us back to the campsite. We ended up packing up everything and headed to a different location after that. Till this day, I have no idea what could have done that to the poor deer, but whatever it was big and it scared the living daylights out of my very laid back and very badass father. And that's the end of the story. So they have absolutely no predators in the area and a deer was ripped to shreds. So that one's not really like super paranormal because like they didn't see anything. There's no proof that it was something like, I don't know, Slenderman. But that's still kind of crazy if you literally don't have a predator in the area and you know that like there's nothing around that's gonna do that. That's terrifying. So I have no words. That's awful. Sorry if you hear the loud cars. There's a loud one going by right now. Both my window panes are closed and it's super fucking loud. Also, I really hope that this wig wasn't like rubbing up against my mic. If it was, I will reshoot this story. Let's move on to the next story. So that was from SM7THI, so I think like Smith, but 7. I'll put all of the stories linked in my description box down below so you guys can go check them out if you want to read them yourself. So the next one is another true story. So it's from the Spoopy Cjades Reddit again, and this is Numerous Holiday 1784, and this one is titled Skinwalker in the Woods. Hi, my name is Katie. I live in Canada. Hi Katie, I live in Canada too. I live in Canada and recently went on vacation to Newfoundland to visit my grandmother. For some context, my grandma's house was pretty small and didn't have enough bedrooms to accommodate everyone that was visiting. My family of 4, plus my aunt and cousins, so my sister, cousin, and I were sleeping in a trailer just behind the house. The trailer didn't have any running water or any food in the fridge, so if we needed to use the bathroom or get food at night, we would have to walk across the yard to get into the house. Now, my grandma's property isn't massive, maybe half an acre or so, but it's surrounded by a forest on 3 sides. One night my sister, cousin, and I were in the trailer talking and hanging out. It was getting late, so I decided to go into the house to brush my teeth and get ready for bed. I get out of the trailer and start walking to the house. It's around 11:30 p.m. at this time, so it's completely dark. The porch lights were on, but they were dim and only illuminated the path enough so I could just barely see. As I'm walking towards the house, I hear a rustling in the woods to my left. I stop to try to listen for the noise again and hear a faint voice whisper, "Psst." My heart sinks to my ass and I book it to the house. I lock the door behind me and head upstairs to the bathroom, very shaken up. After changing and getting ready for bed, I go downstairs to leave the house. Turning on my phone flashlight, I open the door and head outside. For some stupid reason, I was just convincing myself that it had been my imagination and walked back to the trailer. Halfway there, I start hearing a baby crying. It started soft, but when I stopped moving, it started to get louder until it was a hysterical wailing. I said, "Fuck that," and sprinted to the trailer. I immediately went to sleep after that, still trying to tell myself that I was just overtired and hearing things. I didn't tell my sister and my cousin until the next morning. My sister and cousin stayed up late that night, and they told me that after I went to bed, someone started knocking on the trailer door. They opened it, thinking that it was probably one of our parents, but no one was there. Apparently, that happened about 5 more times until they were freaked the fuck out and locked the trailer and went to bed. I had to spend another week in the trailer before we finally went home, but luckily nothing else happened, but safe to say, it freaked us the fuck out. And that's how they ended the story. Holy shit. So I don't know much about like skinwalkers or anything like that, but that's terrifying, and whatever it was that was in the woods was definitely trying to lure you into the woods. I've heard that like they make noises like a baby crying to like try to lure people in them, or they can like mimic your voice, or they can mimic someone's voice and it tries to like lure you into the woods and then it kills you or whatever it does to you. And you were very, very smart for not going towards it and going into your trailer, because that's fucking terrifying. I don't know what I would do if I was just like on my lawn in the middle of buttfuck nowhere with the forest all around me and I heard a baby just like crying in the woods. My dumbass would probably try to go find the baby, because that's just me. But that's terrifying. You did the right thing. Go into your trailer, lock the door. If something else knocks, don't open the door. Oh my God, that's terrifying. No, thank you. Oh my God. So thank you so much again for letting me read your story. And now we're jumping on to the last story. So this is probably gonna be a shorter video, probably around the 15-minute mark as per usual. So I guess it's not really that short, but these ones are a little bit shorter than my usual stories. I usually just read 2 and they're usually fairly long. But anyway, this is from the Reddit Ghost Stories. So I don't know if this is a true story or not, but it is from the Reddit Ghost Stories. And the Reddit user is remote-age-3469. So trigger warning here for suicide and harm. So you can skip if you don't want to hear this. So this one is titled, "I Need Help." Let me start off by saying it took a lot of convincing to even share my story. I don't know how to feel. What I do know, as of typing this, the activity is ramping up tenfold. I'm wary of sharing any actual names, including my own, as you might see why. And before you go off immediately writing this off as someone high off crack trying to make a piss poor ghost story, I assure you, I am not. This is my story that myself and 3 others know of. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm only here for 2 reasons: to see if anyone else has had the same experience and or can help me of ridding this thing away from me. So with all this out of the way, let's start. I will name myself X. I was born and raised here in Texas. I know of most urban legends there is, along with most historical sites littering itself across the state. I was 21 at the time of this incident. I am now 22. I worked many different jobs, mainly in the food industry. My father was part of the HQ staff of a security company that still operates to this day. I eventually decided to try my hand at something completely different. Security, of course. I worked at the company for about 8 months as a level 2 officer, and after about 1 year, I moved up to level 3. Level 3 is someone who is authorized to carry and handcuff, according to the company's policy and the client's policies. I was moved to my first ever post as a level 3, a hospital located in San Antonio, Texas. I will not give out the name. As I worked at said hospital for about 3 months, I was told that there was an abandoned section of the hospital, and I was offered a tour. Before I go further, I should explain who was with me upon entering the abandoned section. First up is Agent Y. Agent Y was a former Secret Service agent who retired and eventually ended in the security company I was in. Next up is a Marine, 1 and 2. As the name suggests, these 2 were former Marines. One was infantry and who was in the Battle of, I'm sorry, I can't say this, Fallujah? I'm sorry if I say that wrong, and continued to see more action for about 6 years before leaving. Marine 2 was a former drill instructor. I'm saying this as point of reference to show you that these 2 people were not the same wannabe thugs taken off the street to become some lousy security officers. In fact, 70% of the company are of military or law enforcement. Anyways, Agent Y was my supervisor of the site. Each site needed a supervisor. I won't go into detail about that. Agent Y also so happened to be the hospital's main security supervisor. Agent Y and Marine 1 and 2 all went with me to your abandoned section. We all had our own flashlights. We explored essentially the whole building without any incident until we reached the ICU. Fucking god damn it. I'm crying as I type this. This will haunt me until I die. We reached the ICU. We stopped as there was a three-way fork. Each hall had a miniature hall connecting to the next. All three hallways were parallel to each other. We decided on the far left one and continued to go down. The plan was to go down all the way, circle back, and take the next hallway. If it weren't for what I was about to experience, it was almost entrancing to see all the equipment and whatnot left there to rot. We reached the end of the first hallway, then before all of us could turn around, Agent Y was the first to notice that Marine 2 was fixated on a doorway. When we all turned in the direction of Marine 2, I immediately felt sick, like I was going to vomit violently. It started to smell like rotten meat. This all took within a span of 3 seconds. When we all faced the doorway, we all immediately noticed it. It was fucking peeking at us from the top of the doorway. I was more immediately drawn to its eyes. I would have expected normal eyes, but instead met with inky blackness. There was voids where its eyes should have been. Marine 1 was the first to run, followed by Marine 2. I then ran next, my heart shitting itself. As I was running, I noticed Agent Y outrunning me. For some god-awful reason, I was compelled to turn around to see if it was chasing us. The damn thing was floating towards us. From here, I'm not sure what happened as my brain blacked out, but what I do know is a few months later, the abandoned building was destroyed. I genuinely wish it would stop here, but it gets worse. Agent Y, 3 weeks after the building's demolition, committed suicide. A few days later, Marine 1 died under unknown circumstances. I tried to live my life without an acknowledgement of what I saw, but I still see the goddamn forsaken thing in the corner of my eye. I fear I'm next. Any advice would be of genuine help. And that's how they ended the story. Holy shit, that's terrifying. No thank you. Oh my god, just like seeing something peer out of a darkened doorway with like no eyes, just like black void staring at you and then chases you. No. I am the biggest chicken. I was literally just talking to one of my friends about how I love scary things. I'm obsessed with Halloween. I love spooky season, but I will not watch a horror movie. I've seen horror movies and like I've seen the classics, but like they terrify me and they leave me with nightmares. I remember being in high school and going to see Paranormal Activity, like the very first one when it was like all the rage. I saw the first one and I didn't sleep for like a week. It's not even a scary movie, but like when she got drug out of her bed, like up that attic, fuck that. I did not sleep. Like I have an attic at my parents' house. When I was in high school, there was like an attic shaft like outside of my door in my bedroom. And the entire night I laid there petrified and just like stared at it. And I was like, oh my God, it's gonna open and that thing is gonna get me. So I'm a big chicken and that would terrify me. So absolutely not. 0 out of 10. No, thank you. No. That's just my little rant for something staring at me and then chasing me. No, absolutely not. So this is where I'm gonna end the video. I wish I had more stories to read, but I need to go onto Reddit and find more stories and more authors to share with you guys. And I only had those 3. I figured that this would be a longer video, but we're at like 20 minutes. And I don't think after I edit it down and edit out all of my stumbling because I can't speak, it'd probably be like around 15 minutes. So I hope you guys don't mind these videos being around the 15-minute mark. If you guys are wanting longer stories or longer style videos, please leave me a comment down below. Send me your stories. Send me your no sleep stories, your paranormal stories. Send me anything and I will read it as long as it's not like bad for YouTube. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below for more content like this, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.